I'm Julian Hawkins, and I'm here to argue that PAD should not be legalized. PAD is a resource that should not be available to the American public. As a society, we regard the human life very highly, and the passing of such a law would set a new precedent for how we view the human life. It is often argued that because PAD is not legal in most states, people are being left to suffer. These people may be suffering, but suicide shouldn't be the first solution to jump to. What kind of example would that be setting for the rest of society? Being suicidal is considered a mental illness and is therefore very complex, and it should not be given into, but it should be helped by doctors. One of my sources say that suicidal people have a diminished capacity to make the decisions to the end of their lives. Basically, people who are suicidal, it's a mental disorder, and they're not able to think as clearly. Like my opponent said, PAD would be open to people who have a clear mental state, and it's been proven that people who are suicidal are incapable of this. Also, accepting the right to suicide would create a legal presumption of sanity, preventing inappropriate mental health treatment. So if suicide and physician-assisted death become legal rights, the presumption that people attempting suicide are deranged and in need of psychological help, borne out by many studies and years of experience, will be reversed. So by making this legal, it would normalize suicide, basically throwing it out as a mental disorder when it's really not, or when it really is a mental disorder. Those seeking suicide will be legally entitled to be left alone to do something irremediable based on distorted assessment of their circumstances without genuine help. So these people basically would not receive any help from anybody. They would just, their mental illness will be given into, and they'll be given the right to kill themselves. The legalization of this law would bring about several moral and social issues. Just a second. First of all, moral issues will occur with the actual people diagnosing the prescription to kill the patients, such as medical personnel. The act of PAD is neither easy nor peaceful. It's a difficult, long thing to do, and medical personnel are adversely affected. In Belgium, where it is legal, doctors are entitled to psychotherapy after euthanizing a patient. It's not uncommon to see Belgian nurses take a day off when they know that PAD is planned. So it doesn't just affect the patient, it affects the people who are prescribing it. It's a really tough thing to do, and it's not for everyone. Legalizing PAD and assisted suicide leads to suicide contagion. When the media portrays assisted suicide as a means of taking control, or claims that someone helping another person kill themselves is death with dignity, then society is receiving the dangerous message that suicide is a legitimate answer to life's problems, and therefore increasing the suicide rate. It's actually been proven in countries like Canada, where it has been legalized, that the suicide rate has gone up due to the normalization of suicide there. And my next point is pretty much the dignity of the human life. Physicians have sworn an ethical duty to protect life. Almost all American physicians take the ancient Hippocratic Oath, as my opponent stated, as they begin their medical careers. As originally written, the oath prohibits doctors from killing patients or from helping patients kill themselves, even upon the request of the patient. So, even though the doctor is there to adhere to the patient's request, they made an oath to not kill, no matter what, even upon the patient's request. So, that basically goes against the whole PAD law. Because the terminally ill aren't in their right minds, we can't pass a law that allows them to make such a crucial decision over their life. Freedom of choice is important, but for the sake of the mentally ill, they shouldn't be allowed to make this choice on their own because they're unfit. This, coupled with several negative effects such as increased suicide rates and potential for doctors to abuse this law, PAD should not be passed.